Ladies and gentlemen, that's right, ladies and the freaking gentlemen. Welcome back to another edition of
Suck my balls. Suck my balls.
Lick 'em,
Suck my balls.
suck 'em,
Suck my balls.
fondle 'em.
My balls.
Whoa,
Suck my balls.
struck him.
Suck my balls.
Yeah.
Suck my balls.
Shave 'em.
Shave him?
What?
Suck my
Huh?
balls.
Who said that?
South Park review. We have arrived once again. We're back for another rendition of South Park fun and reviews for you. I, of course, am your host in the heat, and I can't be beat. I'm a guy who's high when that air is so very dry and hot, and it's starting to cool down now. Your boy, M to the S to the G. Follow me, us as a podcast, link tr.ee/South Park Pod, Suck My Balls Pod on the Twitter, Instagrammer, and South Park Pod on Facebooker. Suck My Balls Pod, gmail.com. Shoot us an email if you'd like to give us a 5-star review, but you got to do it like Gerald too. I am not alone, ladies and gentlemen. This man is a doctor. This man is a doctor of polyphonics. This man is a doctor of hydrophonics. And this man is your 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 Trivia Champion, Dirty Joe Double J, the man with the plan, Hernola. I feel like every week I'm just give you different polyphonic intros. I know you know what that is.
Oh yeah, and I'm here for it. Totally here for it.
Joe, how you doing?
I'm doing okay, all things considered. So,
coming up on our
I'm here.
Coming up on our YouTube, you just recently had an event that you have decided to share with the people of Suck My Balls fans and anybody who subscribes to us on YouTube. Should tell us about that.
We had our annual Halloween pop culture riff show this past Sunday, the 9th, I think it was. Yes, the 9th. Carnival and the world famous cease and desist gimmick infringement battle royal. Say that one 8 times fast. But the one of the matches I put on, originally I was going to take part in the match, and just some things came up where I wasn't able to, but it was the rematch no one knew they wanted to see until it was announced. Randy Marsh versus Bat Dad 2.
All right, so that's coming to our YouTube, as well as, of course, if I'm assuming you can go back and order these things on Fight or somewhere.
This one is actually is already up on primosprowrestling.net. If you go to primosprowrestling.net, click on the More tab, scroll down to videos. It is actually the first video up there. You also get to hear me do a really shitty Rick to set up Rick and Morty with Michael Myers versus the Chippendales dancers from SNL.
You didn't do me right, huh, Joe? You really couldn't just harness the energy. You gotta really reach deep down, like you're taking a huge shit. Your face gets all red.
I tried. I'm telling you, I really tried, Morty. But it just sounds like my shitty voice with whatever on top of it.
You gotta get real deep. Grandpa's put a lot of nuts up that asshole, Morty. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a Suck My Balls review podcast. We are fans of Rick and Morty. If you haven't checked out the brand new season, you can. I'm not advertising for HBO Max, but hopefully they'll give us a sponsorship because South Park is involved. Anyway, Suck My Balls episode. We're back to deliver some reviews for you. Shout out to our boy S to the C to the double OP, the Mac Daddy Scoop. There it is. Scoopity scoop, doing some school. How you doing, bud? But Joe is going to drive our narration recap today as he tells us about a very serious threat to the United States and the world as a whole. And if nobody listens to Joe right now as he tells this story, he's going to feel like you don't take him serial. And I'm going to let you know right now, Joe, I seriously take you serial. I'm serial. I understand how serial this is. Go ahead.
I take you so serially.
So serially.
This is Season 10, Episode 6, Episode 145 of South Park, 148 of this podcast. It is Man Bear Pig.
Check my bell, number 148. Sorry.
No, that's fine. We're almost halfway through the series run, but they'll keep adding stuff before we get anywhere close to... before we get anywhere close to that, but Anyway, moving on. This, of course, as MSG already alluded to, is about former Vice President Al Gore warning the children of South Park about the threat of Man Bear Pig. So the episode starts with an assembly in the school gym where Mr. Mackey introduces the kids to Al Gore, and Al Gore then begins to warn the kids about a ferocious beast who's half bear, half man, half pig, called Man Bear Pig.
Of course. Yeah.
And and
I'm talking,
it's
of course,
probably
of Man Bear Pig.
Bear Pig. And it's probably one of the most succinct and just like they get the premise of the episode right out there in about 30 to 45 seconds. And it's like, oh shit, here we go. So after the assembly, it might be after school even, Stan, Kyle, Cartman, and Kenny are playing basketball
Knock it off, Cal.
on the court. Nag it off, Cal. And that is when the former vice president tries to see if anyone was paying attention to him at the assembly and tries to scare the kids while dressed up as Man Bear Pig, and eventually warning them that next time it could be the real Man Bear Pig. And he wants them to sign an awareness sheet and take a bumper sticker.
See, this is why you never, no offense, and I'm not trying to sound like a bad guy here, because if you've got like a rightful petition, or you're trying to raise awareness for something, I applaud you. But in general, like if I'm out on the street and someone hands me something to sign, hey, will you sign this? You sign up for this? I'm usually like, no. And I'm not going to say this is a catalyst for that, but it definitely probably was imprinted in my mind at a young 20-year-old, 19-year-old age or whatever, how old I was at the time, 18 years old this episode comes out, about, you probably shouldn't just give away your information because otherwise people might just start, calling you.
Yeah, I learned very early on to not sign petitions because it just like opens you and like also, whoever. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, weren't you in the military? So isn't there some sort of like conflict of interest? I mean, I'm not saying you can't do it, but isn't there kind of like an unwritten like conflict of interest or something like that?
Yeah, it's in the UCMJ that you can't use your military status to endorse anything one way or another, even though politicians do it constantly.
Right, generals and shit like
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, retired colonels, all that shit. But the I didn't get in until I was like 20, almost 21. So I was probably, I was definitely in at this time.
Well, I've got, this is October, so I think I've got 5 months left to make my decision if I'm going to join the reserves. I'm 34. I'm the last year. I'm going to do it. I got to do it now. I got to do it now for Ethan. No, I'm not going to do it.
But the, and I think they bumped it up to 38 recently because they're having problems getting people to sign their lives away.
I mean, like if you were gonna do it for like the Coast Guard or something, I can see why. Because you get some free money out of it. You go on a couple of trips a year.
They're super picky about who they take.
I know. I'm just saying, but if you got into the Coast Guard, like I could see why you would want to be a reserve or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
Then again, the
But-
Coast Guard does take down a lot of drug trafficking. People don't realize that. They just think that they're just
Oh,
sitting
no,
around. They're doing a lot of drug trafficking stoppage and people trafficking, right? You know.
They do a
Human
lot of search and rescue stuff up in Alaska and stuff too. Like anytime there's a boat in distress, it's usually the Coast Guard that comes to help them and stuff, unless it's out in international waters and it's, whatever. But that was a huge tangent. So, and like, I forgot half the shit I was going to say during that tangent too. And they were probably like really good points.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry that happened.
no, it's fine. I blame my stoner brain and concussions. But so after the basketball game and the signing of the petitions and shit, which does
We were talking
remind
about
me of what
petitions about how you could
Yeah.
endorse and that, stuff like that.
Yep, and that just triggered what I was going to say. It actually wasn't all that important. It was more just funny than anything.
All right, you
And
know what? How
fuck
about
whoever.
Since we've talked for a while, let's jump to a cliff here and let's so the audience can get an understanding.
I was gonna say, like, let's just go to Al Gore talking to the boys.
Okay.
Okay, students, we have a very special guest speaker today. Who can tell me the name of our country's last vice president?
Dick
Dick
Cheney?
Cheney.
No, the last one.
Nobody knows.
Bill Clinton.
No, Clinton's vice president. He is here today to talk to you students about some very serious issues.
A drawing.
Man Bear Pig?
It is a creature which roams the earth alone. It is half man, half bear, and half pig. Some people say that Man-Bear Pig isn't real. Well, I'm here to tell you now, Man-Bear Pig is very real, and he most certainly exists. I'm serious. Man-Bear Pig doesn't care.
Go ahead.
The drawing looks like the drawing of a liger that Napoleon Dynamite made in the movie. Like when you see the beginning of the movie and it looks at his notebook paper and it has that really shitty liger drawing. That's what that Man Bear Pig sketch reminds me of.
You know, it's interesting because when, like, you wouldn't, I mean, looking back now on the episode and understanding the context of what Man Bear Pig represents, when I first watched this back in the day, I didn't really understand what the creators of South Park were trying to say, that they were referencing that Al Gore was going on about climate control, right? And climate emergency and all that stuff.
Right.
And Man Bear Pig is supposed to represent that itself. So in this episode, they're basically making fun of him. And that's, eventually they do, of course, apologize to him in later season. A whole episode dedicated to apologizing to Al Gore.
Yes.
But like, it's just interesting that back then they didn't, because it's not really like pushed in this episode that he's supposed to represent some sort of climate control. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think the allegory that Al Gore used, in the episode went over a lot of people's heads until Matt and Trey were like, you guys, this is about this. And honestly, the first time watching it, I didn't get that they were being allegorical with it until, and I'm just going to keep saying allegory because it sounds so close to Al Gore. It's just, I didn't get it until they slapped me over the face with it at the end of the episode when he's like, oh, maybe I'm going to make a movie about it. And then I was like, son of a bitch.
Right.
This is totally making fun of an inconvenient truth.
Inconvenient truth. Well, you know what we could do?
Hey, maybe we better do a towel call.
We could do a Tally call. Maybe Tally will show up.
You want to get high?
He can help Al Gore.
Yes, I do. After the basketball game, or during all of this and the petitions and everything, Randy Marsh pulls up by the basketball court and offers the boys a ride home. On the way home, he explains to the boys that Al Gore is making up Man Bear Pig and that he simply wants attention. Fast forward, it is now later on in the evening. It is the middle of the night, actually, and Al Gore calls Stan, who asks him and his friends to attend a meeting the following morning for more Man Bear Pig awareness. Stan tries to tell Al Gore that he has school and can't go, but Gore starts to cry and just guilt trips Stan into doing this, saying, "Oh, you just don't believe in me.
Just don't believe me,
and you're
like everybody else. Nobody takes
And
it serious.
so Stan finally caves in after the guilt trip and says he was just too scared that he can't do anything to stop Man Bear Pig, but he'll attend. So,
Well, actually, he says I think Stan tries to get out of it and just goes, "I just don't feel like there's anything I can do to stop him." And then Al Gore goes, "Don't worry, we can stop Man Bear Pig. Grab everybody you know in your family and meet me tomorrow at 8 o'clock sharp."
Right. And he's just, I guess I was just scared that I can't do it. Like, he wasn't actually scared. He was just trying to con him if what I was trying to pull off. And so the next morning he drags Kyle Cartman and Kenny to the meeting, and they ask Stan why they're doing this. And Stan explains that he feels sorry for Al Gore, and that's why they're doing it.
Right? All right, so let's jump into some of that clip here with Randy and them in the car.
Trying to warn us about Man Bear Pig.
Man Bear Pig?
He's half man and half bear pig. No, dude, he's half man, half bear, and half pig. That doesn't make any sense. He could be half bear, half man pig.
Boys, there's no such thing as a man bear pig. The vice president is just desperate for attention.
But I feel kind of bad for him, Dad. I don't think he has any friends.
All right, now, as you mentioned, late night, Stan here gets that phone call from Al Gore.
Hello?
Hello, this is Al Gore.
Oh, man. Hi, Mr. Gore.
I was the vice president.
I know.
Can you and your friends make it to an emergency man bear pig meeting tomorrow morning?
Tomorrow
I have
morning.
some evidence he could be in this area.
Look, I'm sorry, but we're all kind of busy.
Oh.
Oh, I get it. You don't believe me either.
No, it's not that.
Yes, it is. Nobody believes me. I'm trying to warn everybody and nobody takes me cereal. I just want somebody in the world to take me cereal just once.
It's okay, Mr. Gore. I believe you.
I believe
Oh,
you.
you don't?
Yeah, I'm sure Man Bear Pig needs to be stopped. I'm just scared that I can't do anything to stop him.
Yeah.
Are you cereal?
Are you cereal?
Yes, I'm cereal.
Don't worry. We can stop him. Bring everyone you can to...
Yeah.
Don't worry, we can stop him. Joe?
Yes, we can stop him. Bring all your friends.
And then we'll go.
So, during the meeting, Stan tells Al Gore, like, "Hey, man, my dad's a geologist, and he says Man Bear Pig isn't in the area." And which makes Al Gore a little curious. Does your dad have hooves?
Does your dad have hooves, and does your dad have ears like pigs and hooves where his feet should be?
Sure. Yeah, and Stan quickly assures Al Gore that his father is not Man Bear Pig.
Lord, maybe, but
And-
not Man Bear Pig.
He is Lord. Yeah. Lord.
Oh my gosh, watch me play with my clit. Watch me flick my bean.
God damn it. And as Stan is explaining this to Al Gore finds something on his Man Bear Pig detector, and his nav points him towards the Cave of the Winds, believing it to be Man Bear Pig. The boys tell Al that they can't go, they have school, but Al Gore tells them that they can get them excused from class, and they're like, "Well, fucking sweet, dude. Fuck school."
You have that power?
Right, yeah. You have that power. He's the fucking vice president. Why wouldn't he?
Right. That's true. And technically speaking, the schools are publicly funded government entities, and he was an elected government official, so he probably really did have that power. Would have that power.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. So, in the Cave of the Winds, they start looking for Man Bear Pig droppings, which he explains are just like pig droppings, but more man bear like. The fuck? So as they continue to explore, the sound of the wind going through the caves, which is what the caves are named after, Cave of the Winds, is mistaken by Al Gore to be the sounds of Man Bear Pig. This, of course, leads Gore to pull out his gun.
I'm gonna pull out my gun, and I said,
"Oh God, here we
Man
go,
Bear Pig, you ain't gonna get none."
Oh God, here we go with the gun again. But he pulls out the gun and starts shooting everything in sight, which, of course, the echoes.
I'm gonna kill this bitch too. No, I'm just
One, I'm gonna kill these kids. Two, I'm gonna shoot these rocks. Three, they fall down around the kids. Actually, that's what happened. He shot the rocks, and the echoes and shit cause
a cave in, trapped in the cave.
Yes.
And as we were alluding to there, right after he shoots it, cave. That's what it's called, I think, a cave in or whatever.
the Cave of the Winds. Yeah, it caves in, it collapses. They crumble down and trap the boys. And so the kids begin to search for a way out. Meanwhile, Cartman thinks he found some treasure. And I mean, it looks like he found some pirate treasure. Like, honestly, it looks like some Goonies shit.
So,
doesn't it?
It does, but the one thing that bothered me about this is Cartman is a very intelligent individual. He should have seen the sign above that said Smuggler's Den and put two and two together and been like, oh, this is probably not real. But
maybe, but like when
of gold, I get it. When you see shiny, I understand.
That, and I mean, it's like, oh, the smuggler's back there, den. Like, you can legitimize whatever you want in your mind when you want to believe something.
That's a fair point. That's fair. Okay, that's fair when you're manipulating your mind. That's how serial killers work. You've been watching a lot of the Jeffrey Dahmer stuff, haven't you, Joe?
Can't you tell by my mustache?
I'm trying to eat him.
I told you we're going to watch Man Bear Pig, and then you can leave.
Joe told you you have to listen to this podcast, and then you can go on with your day.
Okay. So
you're scared.
Yeah, you're scared. Oh, I shouldn't do that dance. That shit hurt my neck.
Did you see that meme recently or whatever? It was just like a regular gay couple in a restaurant, and it was a white guy that kind of looks like Jeffrey Dahmer, and it was like, someone needs to tell that man. like it was just a nice gay couple, and it was just like a white guy like doing crossword with his black boyfriend or whatever, and it's like,
oh no,
you know some shit's about to go down. Someone needs to save that black man.
Oh God.
And the guy kind of did look like a spitting younger image version of like Jeffrey Dahmer. It was a little creepy.
I bet.
Feel bad for that guy. He needs to dye his hair.
Yeah, he needs to shave his mustache.
No, just dye your hair. Just dye your hair like a deep black, and then you'll be fine. You know what I mean? Because then no one's gonna connect that.
Right.
I just think you look like Clark Kent or something. I don't know.
Right. Fair enough. So Cartman finds the treasure, and it's about this time that the boys realize their only way out is a very steep path that they can't climb themselves. So they decide to stay put in hopes that someone will eventually find them. Determined to not let anyone else find out about the treasure, Cartman hides it the best way he knows how in his massive, massive stomach. So as he keeps eating it, the boys see that he's getting bigger and starting to swell, and they believe that he's sick.
All right, so before we continue, let's jump into the caves here scene with Al Gore and them arriving at the Cave of the Winds itself.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Cave of the Winds. Our tour is going to take us through two chambers, one of the most elaborate cavern systems in Colorado. Before we get started, I do understand we have a special guest in our group today, the ex-Vice President, Mr. Al Gore.
Al Gore.
Mr. Gore asked me to make sure you all knew.
He's all breathing heavily.
Now, once we enter the cave, we do ask you that you follow two rules. Stay on the path and do not touch anything. All right, are we ready? Yeah! Let's go caving.
Let's go caving.
Here we are in the main chamber of the cave. It was discovered in 1892 and first used as a hideout for smugglers of the Old West.
Have you noticed high deposits of sulfur or a salmon-like odor coming from the caves lately?
God damn it.
No. Now, as you
No.
can see, the cave is filled with stalagmites and stalactites. Water drips from the cave.
All right, kids, I need you to keep an eye out for man-bear pig droppings.
What do man bear pig droppings look like?
Similar to pig droppings, but more man-bear-like.
These rocks often make interesting
comes the
shapes,
cock
which
and
we like
balls
to name.
jokes.
For instance, this one here we named the hanging mushroom.
Hanging mushroom.
And over here we have man with helmet and 2 bowling balls.
And the sisters.
And finally, of course, the 2 sisters.
the 2 sisters.
Now, the cave itself is millions of years old and has a constant temperature
That
of
might be our
57
background
degrees.
for the episode this week. The 2 sisters.
Whoa!
Yes.
Sir, Mr. Gore, is there a problem?
Not yet.
Not yet.
All right, everyone, if you'll step this way, you'll see how the cave gets its name.
So as you mentioned, they're on this tour, and then eventually Al Gore hears the winds, as that's what it's called,
What are you doing?
and he starts shooting.
No! Leave them alone, you goddamn man-bear pig! Damn you, man-bear pig! They're just children!
Okay, everyone out of the cave now!
They get out of the cave, and then as you eventually mention now, Cartman and them are all looking for a way out.
Damn it.
Cartman finds the smuggler's den. Yeah.
You see anything, Kenny? Woo, woo, woo. Cartman? Cartman, you see anything? No, nothing. No, nothing here. Nothing this way. Treasure.
I love how he says that, right?
Yeah.
Help! I'm back! This way's just a dead end. Coming back to you now.
Treasure.
So, yep. He starts eating that treasure, and Al Gore and everyone else on the expedition, except the boys, get out of the cave. And as the rescue team is attempting to save the boys, Al Gore tells them that for the greater good, they need to fill the cave with molten lead to stop Man-Bear Pig. The rescue workers tell them no, they can't do that because it's going to kill the boys, and which disappoints Al Gore. And while discussing their digging plan, they explain that they're going to be digging into an area called Smuggler's Den, which is a photo op with fake treasure taken at the end of the tour, which then reveals the treasure that Cartman's been eating this whole time
It is fake, right?
to be nothing but fake. Yes. So finding out that they won't pour the molten lead or anything else into the Cave of the Winds, Al Gore takes matters into his own hands and decides that he's going to flood the cave by diverting a stream, which, yeah, obviously is going to flood the cave and
Make things worse, right? I mean, fuck.
make things worse for the boys. But at this point, Al Gore believes him to be dead as a result of Man-Bear Pig. So what's the use in anyway? So the stream starts to flood the cave, and that's when things get really hairy for the boys, and they have to attempt to escape, with Kyle being Kyle and a good person, a decent human being, and doing what he can to try to save a bloated Cartman who cannot keep himself afloat.
Right, from eating all of the treasure. But
Before
we got there, though, I do want to jump to something here. It's when they're the first night when they're sleeping, and before Cartman starts eating the treasure, and everyone's sleeping, and then Cartman sits over Kyle and makes his own little speech here. It's a really funny moment in the episode.
Wouldn't you? Even though I found it, you'd love to think it's somehow yours, too. Gotta hate you guys. Especially you money-grubbing snake in the grass. Well, I've got news for you,
Just
Kyle.
right over him.
You're never going to get my treasure. I've got a little plan going to get the treasure out of here without you ever knowing. Cartman?
What?
Hey.
Oh, hey, Cap. How's it going? Dude, what are you doing? Not much. You know, just hanging out. How you been, man? Good? Dude, get away from me. Yeah, it's nice talking with you, Cap. See you around.
That's one of my favorite parts of the episode. So as you mentioned, yes, and Kyle and Stan and them are looking to escape when the water starts to flood in after Al Gore thinks he's gotten rid of Man Bear Pig.
Nothing
Right,
left alive.
and
I
the
did-
rescue team also thinks
I
the boys
killed
are
Man
dead.
Bear Pig.
That's right.
I've
because they
saved the
flooded the
Earth
dam.
from certain destruction.
He flooded the cave
Everyone
with the
is
dam. I'm
super
sorry, by
stoked on
averting
me.
and closing out the dam
Even if they don't know
pushing
it.
the water toward the Cave of the Winds here. And the boys now.
I love the everyone is stoked on me.
Hurry, Kyle, the water's rising! Cartman, you've got to swim! Kick with your legs! I can't kick! Yes, you can! I can't kick, you just have to save me! I need your help! No, you just have to save me!
So yeah, our boys seem to be in peril, Joe.
Yeah, they do seem to be in peril, as you could hear that Cartman and Kyle almost drown there. And meanwhile, in front of the cave, a memorial service is being held for the boys, since, as the rescuers said, there's no way anything survived that. Excuse me. So, while holding the memorial service, with Al Gore's nothing less than touching eulogy to the four boys, the boys show up, and Al Gore takes credit for saving them, at which point Stan finally tells him to back off and that he's a psycho, and that they were only being nice to him because they felt sorry for him, and they call him a loser. Al Gore says he's hardly a loser because he stopped Man Bear Pig all by himself. As all this is going on, Cartman begins to crap out the treasure and finds out that it's only worth about $15. And which, this, of course,
It's mine. You can't take it from me.
and this, of course, angers Kyle because he had to carry Cartman and almost drown with him because Cartman was trying to smuggle treasure and keep it from the rest of the boys.
Right. That's not real. That
Al-
wasn't real treasure.
And it then closes with Al Gore saying he should make a movie, which, as I said earlier, this is when it slapped me in the face that this was about an inconvenient truth and Man Bear Pig was global warming. And Cartman then craps out some more, and Al Gore flies away.
And we will never forget the names of the brave young kids who lost their lives. Kid 1, Kid 2, Kid 3, and of course, Kid 4. I remember how Kid 1 used to laugh and play, and how Kid 2 was always there when I needed him.
Oh my God!
4 was filled with hope and very cherished life.
It's the kids! They're alive!
Kids, I saved you!
Stay away from us, asshole! I was nice to you because I felt sorry for you because you don't have any friends. But now I see why you don't have any friends. You just use Man Bear Pig as a way to get attention for yourself because you're a loser!
Yeah, right. The man who single-handedly killed Man Bear Pig is a loser.
All right, so Cartman now.
We need to get our friend to a hospital right away! No, I'm fine. I just need to get home and rest. Cartman, seriously, you need to see a doctor. No, I just need to get to a toilet. See you guys.
You guys.
Have it.
He just grabs out the whole thing.
Right?
The fact that he ate all of that is crazy.
Yeah.
Everyone's just looking at him.
Dude, did Cartman just crap treasure? It's mine! It's mine, you hear me? I got it out of the cave. It belongs to me! Keep your greedy hands away!
Hey, that looks like the fake treasure from our smuggler's den photo room.
That's right. And a
Big?
fake treasure?
Yeah, we put it there for kids to take their picture with. All in all, I'd say that treasure's worth about $14.
No! No! Ow! You made us pull you to safety because you ate treasure? You son of a bitch! Don't you think I'm hurting enough, Kyle? Ow! Ow!
I mean, that is pretty torturous.
Well, my work here is done. I've killed MVP, and now I must
MVP.
save the world from something else. Maybe I'll make
I'll
a
make a
movie.
movie or something.
A movie starring me. Then people
Me.
take me super cereal.
I like this last part here when Cartman craps out what looks like a chalice.
Yeah.
It's like, how did he get that in his ass? How did he swallow the chalice? That's nuts. Oh my goodness. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to do a quick moment from our sponsor break here provided by Spreaker, and we'll be right back. Subscribe to Suck My Balls, a South Park review on Spotify, Apple's, iTunes, anywhere you want to download a podcast. Just type that in, subscribe to our feed. You'll get the latest, greatest episode each and every week. You can also listen to us on YouTube and go back and watch some videos or any of our library. It's all there. Suck My Balls, South Park review. Once again, shout out to our sponsors there, provided by a Spreaker. Ladies and gentlemen, before we get back into some of our normal activities, which we do on the other side, trivia, pop culture, and continuity, I believe there is enough, and I believe it is time to say we're coming back today. The return of... What did Kenny say?
It's been a hot minute.
Kenny had some lines. So we start off the episode early on. Cartman asks as they're walking up to the hotel. Cartman says, "Dude, why are we going to hang out with this guy?" Referring to Al Gore. And Kenny actually says, "Yeah, I don't get it," which is a good point. Moving on, then of course when they first see him, when the cave-in actually happens, they all yell out hello. So he does have a line there. And then he also ends up, Kyle says, "Forget it, they can't hear us." And Kenny then responds by saying, "What are we going to do?" Furthermore, later on, Stan continues that conversation by saying, "Maybe there's another way out of here." And Kenny says, "Oh, no kidding." And following this, later on, when they're all like, I guess you might say, like, checking out through the cage or the cave, right? Like, when they split up to go check it out. Kyle says to Kenny, "You see anything, Kenny?" And Kenny says, "No, nothing."
Yes.
After that, Kyle says, "It looks like we're completely sealed in." And Kenny says, "Yeah, no shit." Following that, continuing on here, Kyle is trying to save Kenny. And Kenny's last line here, I think, is in the episode. Al Gore says, "This is the end of you, man, bear pig." And then he releases the boulders. After that, Kenny, as they're swimming, says, "We're almost there." So yeah, that's what Kenny said. That's what Kenny said. That was good. We hadn't got to do it. Oh, what did Kenny shed? And probably almost feels like 2 seasons, like 10 or 15 episodes since we've gotten to do a Kenny. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm no 2022 trivia god, but I'm going to read you some trivia here. This episode satirizes Al Gore's campaign against climate change. Some of the statistics and stalagmites in the Cave of the Winds are, of course, clearly shaped like the penises. Cartman is eating the treasure while drinking it with water. His water bottle reads water, as spelled W-O-T-T-U-R. During the whole episode, instead of saying serious, Al Gore said cereal or super cereal. This is referencing Al Gore's lisp in his voice when he speaks. When the woman in the tour tells her husband, who coincidentally is named Steven, to take a picture of the wind, her voice is similar to Linda Stotch's voice, that being Butter's mother. This is the 3rd time we actually see a lock of Kenny's hair. There's also a man dressed in Herbert Garrison's clothes on the cave tour. And finally, in the audience of Al Gore's Man-Bear Pig speech, Luigi can be seen in the 3rd set of bleachers behind Kevin Stoley. 2 seats to the left is who appears to be Terrence Mephisto, who supposedly died, as we thought, during Mecha Streisand, but he has made several appearances since. Just a background character. Here's some references to pop culture. The music as Al Gore walks to ambush the boys as Man-Bear Pig is reminiscent of the Doctor Who series. The Cave of the Winds is actually a real tourist attraction in Colorado. The Comfort Inn, of course, is a parody of the real hotel chain Comfort Inn, spelled with a C. Cartman trying to sneak out the treasure out of the cave by eating it is a reference to the 1985 film Goonies, as you read, friends, little Goonies feel, as Corey Feldman and Clark do the same thing. When Al Gore describes the appearance of Man Bear Pig, to the school, Dvorak's Symphony No. 9, Adagio Allegro Molto can be heard. And last thing here for some continuity, Man Bear Pig, of course, is going to infest in his true form in Imagination Land episode number 2, meaning Man Bear Pig is imaginary. However, we're going to find out that imagination characters are real, and later on, he will, of course, be revealed that he does, in fact, exist in Time to Get Cereal. And then, of course, he became a vital character in the streaming wars, too, as far as one of the antagonists. So that is your references to pop culture, continuity, trivia, a little bit of what did Kenny say, and your recap. Joe, what'd you like about this episode, sir?
Just the ridiculousness of the Man Bear Pig character and Al Gore's desperation throughout the whole episode. The Cartman being Cartman. This is definitely one of those episodes that established Cartman's character traits and everything else. And there was just a lot to like about it, especially, like I said, the ridiculousness and over the top nature of Al Gore. So throughout the whole episode,
I think what is interesting from a pop culture standpoint, as far as a long-lasting effect, whether you've watched South Park in the past, maybe this is your first time running through it, maybe you'll never listen to this podcast, but you know people who at least use the phrase cereal. I am so cereal. Because that was a kind of a big phrase back then. I mean, I'm not saying it's big now, but it was a bigger phrase back then at the time. Like, I am so cereal. Are you serious? I am so cereal.
Yeah. And people still use it to this day.
I'd use it. I mean, as a South Park fan, obviously. And if you're a South Park fan, you probably do it. I'm super cereal right now. I cannot do this. So, like, there's definitely some pop culture imprint there from using that phrase, and probably why this episode stood as far as the test of time in regards to the Al Gore character. Even more so in the recent years when the creators of South Park, Matt Stone, Trey Parker, went back and almost essentially apologized to Al Gore when Man Bear Pig returns and they need help getting rid of him. The only guy that actually said, hey, climate control is actually coming, you know? So, but yeah, I as far as do I like this episode from a top 100? Probably not. It's probably not my top 100. Probably maybe more like top 150, top 200. It's a funny episode, and if it comes on, I'll sit down and enjoy it because Al Gore's his character is hilarious, and it's nice to have, of course, all 4 characters of our South Park level boys in the episode dealing with this. And of course, Cartman eating the treasure is funny, and then having to get carried out by Kyle because he's trying to, take that fake gold with him. So there's some funny stuff in here, but I don't know if it would be like my top 100. What about you?
It's probably in my top 75, but a lot of that is also probably more just the impact that it's had on pop culture since then. And just there are a lot of fans that really revere this episode.
That's fair. I can see where you're coming from.
It ranks, and it ranks really highly on a lot of, like Comedy Central voted contests and other things like that. So it definitely has a place, but I will agree with you that in some ways it's a little overrated. Yeah, it's definitely not like the top 25, top 10 that a lot of people make it out to be. Like, I can name better episodes from this season. The one after this is better than Man Bear Pig, in my opinion, than the one prior to this. A Million Tiny Fibers.
The next 3 episodes, in my opinion, are better than the one we're watching now, whether it be Tis, Make Love Not Warcraft. I think we've got Go God Go coming up here as well.
We have both Go God Go's. So the next 4 episodes, the next 4 episodes are all better than this. This the more I'm talking about it, the more I lean to agree with you on it being a middle of the road episode, but just the fact that it's so highly revered by so many others, I kind of give it a bit of a bump.
I agree, and I want to correct this, just make sure we get the order right. Actually, technically, we have TIS, Make Love Not Warcraft, but then we've got Mystery of the Urinal Deuce,
Which is a great one.
right, which is a great one. And then you've got Miss Teacher Bangs a Boy, followed by Hell on Earth 2006, which it's probably, when we look at it as far as the next episodes, that's probably I guess you might say the weaker of the episodes. Not that's a bad episode,
Right.
in relation to Miss Teacher Bangs a Boy, Mystery of the Urinal Deuce, and of course Make Love Not Warcraft. It's kind of like, you're on the roller coaster and you come down for the little bit of the dip, and then you come back up for Go God Go. So I mean,
Right. That's definitely the dip, and then Stanley's Cup. As much as I love that episode, not very many people do. So that's definitely like the end.
actually,
of the
no,
ride.
I'm in the minority. I just don't like the episode. A lot of people like Stanley's Cup. Like, a lot of people like Stanley's Cup. I'm just in that minority that doesn't. But that's okay.
Yeah, well, I'm in the minority. I'm in the minority on my own show because you and Scoop both hate it.
No, he likes Stanley's Cup. I'm the only one that doesn't like Stanley's Cup.
Oh, okay.
Scoop
well,
likes
then fuck
Stanley's
you.
Cup. Yeah, he loves the cup. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, enough about Stanley's Cup. We'll get there eventually. Thank you so much for coming back for another edition of
Suck my balls.
Suck My Balls. Yum, yum, yum. Suck my balls. Oh, yeah. Suck my balls.
They're vinegary.
Vinegary. Oh, shout out to on our YouTube. I want to shout out to a subscriber who left us a comment. I believe their name was Scarlett. They left a comment on our YouTube that said, "Hey, I didn't know that you guys were." Oh yeah, Scarlet Knight comment. "I didn't know you guys had done the newest season. It's not on Google Podcasts." That is correct. Season 25 is exclusively on our YouTube. So if you want to hear our thoughts, see the clips, and hear the breakdown of season 25 that aired this year, all 6 episodes are on our YouTube platform. So you can go there right now and check them out. And thank you, Scarlett, for subscribing to the channel and leaving a comment on our YouTube as well. We are only like 9 subscribers away from 100. So if you could go ahead and hit that subscribe button, that'd be great. So that way I can make it youtube.com/suckmyballspod or South Park Pod. We just need 9 more. Help us out here.
Yeah.
I know you guys really support us on the podcast side, so I'm not going to get on you guys. You guys download the episode each and every week, so we appreciate that. Joe?
Especially in Germany.
That is correct.
Yeah.
So
yes,
we got to shout out the Germans, our boys and girls who live in any non-binary form, whatever alien in Germany. We are in the top 100 for after shows and review shows there on Apple Podcasts. So we thank you for downloading our show in Germany. We appreciate it.
Awkward. Please don't build funny bots.
I guess it does to prove that Germans are the funniest. I mean, they can build.
Yeah,
funny bots. They understand
right?
comedy. We get you guys. We get you, Germans. We appreciate you. Maybe I would like to go to Amsterdam one day. So, could be in the
that's not in Germany.
could be the area of Europe.
Oh,
Could be in the area. That's what I mean by
I didn't hear that part. I'm sorry. Excuse me. Maybe I will learn
You go to
to
Oktoberfest, then you go to Amsterdam. You know what I'm saying? You gotta hit up all the European countries.
do Beer Fest, then Weed Fest.
Weed Fest. Oh.
Do what Broken Lizard never did.
Bro, me, you, and Scoop, we form our own weed team for Weed Fest. We would dominate.
Yes. So yeah, let's pregame at Oktoberfest. I'll find a blonde German girl named Michelle.
The 2022 Red Rocks Day 1 Trivia Champion. He is a promoter. He is a writer. He's a booker. Dirty Joe Vernola. What's up? What's going on in your world?
Let's see. This is going up the week of the 19th, so I don't have we have Primo's Premier Pro Wrestling Emergence coming up November 20th. You can get those tickets right now at theroxydenver.com and just find the event from there. If you are in the Colorado Springs area, we have Colorado Springs Wrestling coming up. I believe the night. I gotta look at my calendar. I'm all over the fucking place right now. It is November 5th. That's right. Remember the 5th of November. If you are in Colorado Springs, you got a show down at Sunshine Studios Live. If you are in Denver, you can head over to Mile High Comics for New Era Wrestling. And if you are up in Northern Colorado, get your happy asses to Greeley for Battleground Pro Wrestling. 3 great shows for indie wrestling fans all over the state that day. Woo! And then December 11th. Yes, I'm going to start plugging December 11th early because it will be on Fight. It is the annual women's tournament, the Omega 9. We will have more information on that as we get closer to the date, but you can mark your calendars already.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, of course, shout out to the OG, the Mac Daddy, the S to the C. Scoop, there it is. Shout out to you, buddy. Of course, my name is Matthew Schaffer. Again, follow us, Twitter, Instagrammer. I can type it in, Suck My Balls Pod. You can go to linktr.ee/SouthParkPod. You can also send us an email, suckmyballspod@gmail.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, please hit that subscribe and like button. Leave a comment. Let us know what you think of the episode. Let us know if you have any ideas or what you'd like to see from us, the Suck My Balls boys, Suck My Balls crew, the Suck My Balls men. I don't know what we call ourselves, the ball boys. Leave us a comment, hashtag ball boys. Ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you each and every week coming back and listening to us on another review of Suck My Balls. We'll be back next week for Tits, as Cartman's mother is fed up with Cartman, so she's got to get a nanny whisperer instead of a dog whisperer. We'll be back.
Attention, this is Mr. Mackey. You're listening to the Suck My Balls podcast. Okay.
Suck my balls. 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 Suck my balls.